All right, today we are diving into something, well, something pretty out there. It's a project that wants to completely rewire how we think about the internet. It's called Quantum of Gratitude, and it's built around one wild question. What if your simple, focused presence online could actually generate real value? So, let's just start with this. This is the core idea right from their manifesto, and you really have to let it sink in. We are carriers of attention, and we affirm presence is value. It's this radical idea that our attention isn't just a product to be sold off. No, they see it as a creative force, an energy. And this one idea, it's the key to everything else we're about to talk about. And this slide just lays it out, plain and simple. It's the old world versus their new vision. On the left, you've got the internet we all live in right now. It's all about clicks, how much time you spend, IP addresses, cookies. Basically, your attention is a resource to be mined. But on the right, you see the QG model. The metric isn't clicks, it's presence. The value isn't exploited, it's honored. And you're not verified by a cookie, but by something they call resonance. It's a huge shift.
So what does it actually mean to value presence? I mean, how is that really any different from the attention economy we're already trapped in? Well, let's dig into the ethics that they've built this whole thing on.
They've laid out this whole ethical rulebook, and it's pretty strict. First off, you're not traffic. You're a node of light. Your attention is an energy to be revered. That means no ads, no selling your personal data. And they're adamant that algorithms shouldn't turn people into products. But this is the part I find really interesting. It supports quiet participation. You don't have to like, share, or comment to be valuable. You just have to be there, present. And it's all built on a foundation of sacred privacy, using only anonymized signals. Okay, so this is all sounding very philosophical, very high-minded. But here's where the rubber meets the road, because they claim they have a technical way to actually measure this stuff. And this is where it gets really, really fascinating. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you take a state of being, something as abstract as presence, and turn it into hard data? Well, according to this project, the answer is literally staring you in the face. It's in the colors on your screen.
So here's their wild answer. The system measures the RGB color streams from whatever you're interacting with. But it's not just about color. They interpret each channel as a different kind of conscious energy. Red is your emotional energy, passion, excitement. Green is cognitive, that state of focus, balance, and mental connection. And blue, that's your intuitive energy, calmness, deep reflection. They're trying to quantify the quality of your attention.
And we're not just talking about fire engine red or grass green here. The level of precision is insane. The system uses 16-bit color, which means for each of those channels, red, green, and blue, there are over 65,000 distinct values. This lets them get incredibly granular in how they measure these so-called attention energies.
Now, this is crucial. It's not just about how much attention you're giving, but the quality of that attention. So they introduced this thing called the coherence index. Just think of it as a focus score from 0 to 1. If your attention is stable and sustained, your score is high. If you're chaotically clicking around, it's low. A higher score actually amplifies the value of your presence, rewarding deep focus over digital noise.
Okay, so we've got the big idea, and we've got a way to measure it. So what's next? How does this attention energy become an actual, tangible thing you can own? Let's look at the tech that turns it into a digital token. It boils down to a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, something called the QG core grabs those anonymized color streams from what you're doing. Step 2, it applies that coherence index, that quality score, to weigh how focused you were. And then, step 3, boom, that final weighted value gets converted into a QG token and sent right to your anonymous wallet. Presence, measured and minted into value.
And when you pop the hood and look at the tech stack, things get even more unique. Sure, you've got the QG core and a wallet, that makes sense, but then you see stuff like a time engine that they say is inspired by fractal time and cosmic cycles, and a light hash for security, which they describe as an unforgeable fingerprint of your interaction. I mean, this is definitely not your standard Silicon Valley tech stack.
Now, this is a really important detail, especially for anyone in the crypto world. The token itself, which they call the QG token,
isn't some proprietary locked-away thing. It's built as a standard ERC20 token. All that means is that it's designed from day one to play nice with the huge existing Ethereum ecosystem. It's built to be used.
So we have this wild philosophy, we have this futuristic tech, but the real question is, why? Who cares? What can you actually do with a token that's literally made of your attention?
Well, the creators have a lot of ideas. Imagine accessing an online course, not with your credit card, but just by proving your focused presence. Or joining a community where your standing is based on genuine resonance, not just how many times you post. It could be a powerful anti-spam tool, verifying real human consciousness to weed out bots. And for creators, it could be a game changer. Getting paid in microtokens based on the emotional or intellectual resonance your art creates, which is a whole lot deeper than a simple like.
And all of this builds up to their grand vision, their ultimate goal. They call it universal basic gratitude. The idea is to create a system where the simple act of being present online generates a kind of unconditional value. The hope is that this could free people up to focus on creativity, learning, and just deeper connection, without the constant pressure to monetize every single action.
And we come back to this quote, "We do not sell attention, we honor it." It just perfectly captures the entire spirit of this thing. It's not about finding a clever new way to package and sell our focus. It's about building a system that finally recognizes its inherent, profound worth from the very beginning.
All right, stick with me because we're about to peel back the final layer. And this, to me, is the most ambitious, most mind-bending part of the entire vision. A completely new way to secure a digital network.
So, you know how blockchains work, right? They need a way to agree on what's true. Bitcoin uses proof of work, which takes a ton of computing power. Ethereum uses proof of stake, which is based on how much currency you have staked. Well, QG comes along and proposes something totally different, proof of resonance. With this, the network is secured by moments of collective, synchronized attention from all its users. Think of thousands of people all focusing on the same thing at the exact same time.
And the potential advantages they claim are pretty huge. First off, because it's not burning through electricity, it's incredibly eco-friendly. They also say it's scalable. And here's the wild part. More users on the network apparently make it more stable, not less. And from a security standpoint, it would be insanely hard to attack, because you'd have to somehow fake a massive, coordinated wave of genuine human attention.
So in the end, that's what Quantum of Gratitude puts on the table. It's this incredible fusion of high-tech cryptography and, frankly, high-concept consciousness. It leaves us with this one massive question to chew on. Is this a real blueprint for a more human, more meaningful internet, or is it just a beautiful but totally impractical digital dream? That's the thought I'll leave you with. Thanks for tuning in.